Hello, and welcome to a selling tools kind of episode of the Drywall Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Harmon. With us today, Jake Gordon of G4 Drywall Tools and Spray Equipment. Works for a company called Prestige out of Anoka, Minnesota. And he's pretty new in the business. We discuss selling tools, the tapeworm, ice baths, and all sorts of stuff.
Well, the more, initially I thought I could just, sell everything. But then as I kind of got into it and thought more about it, if I don't like it and I don't want to use it, I don't really want to sell it. So I'm going to be specific. Um, I'm going to carry things that I like and that I think are nice. Um, I want to branch more, some into some of the bigger sprayers. Level 5 makes some really cool skim blades that I absolutely love.
Okay.
Um,
This month's podcasts are brought to you by Platformer Solutions. You can listen to me talk with Shane Larson about the Platformer on episode 16 of the Drywall Podcast. Don't sacrifice your life with knockoffs or 2x4s out of the dumpster. Go with the name that started it all, the Platformer. Ask your local distributor or order online at www.platformersolutions.com. In fact, if you order in the month of February and use promo code PODCAST, you can get $100 off your order. The Drywall Podcast is also brought to you by Fresco Harmony, making walls better since 2004. Now you can get Fresco Harmony online at the CSR online store, in the store in Toronto, Canada, and at frescoharmony.com. For now, I'm grateful to introduce Jake Gordon to you on the 38th podcast of the Drywall Podcast. Let's get into it. We've got Jake Gordon, G4 Drywall Tools and Spray Equipment on the Drywall Podcast today out of Anoka, Minnesota. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us, Jake. What are we going to talk about? We were chatting before the interview. Maybe there's a movement happening with us 40-somethings. How old are you?
40. I just turned 40 in July, so
welcome to the club. Yeah, welcome to the club. 40s are cool. And you are branching out. G4 Drywall Tools and Spray Equipment is a mere 4 months old. And
yes,
you are jumping into the tool selling game.
Yes.
That seems a couple of questions come to mind when I think about selling drywall tools. One is like, why? Why would you choose that route to go? But it seems like a challenging space to dive into because you've got all these big dudes that are selling tools. I know that you have a large conglomerate in your area that's selling tools. Why would you, what about the tools attracted you? I mean, kudos too for jumping out on the skinny branch. And also you have an existing job. You're a union person. This is something maybe that you're doing on the side. We'll talk a little bit about that, but that you would like to do full time. How come you're moving in this direction to sell drywall tools? Let's start there.
Well, so I've been in drywall since 99, since 16, basically. I've worked, piecework, union work. When I was 30, I decided when my back and my shoulders started hurting so bad that I needed to do something else. So I went back to school. I went to Dunwoody, which is a trade school, and I got a certificate in construction management. So from there, I started an estimating gig with a ceiling contractor. And then from there, kind of came back to Prestige, who I worked for in the field as a union finisher.
And you're
As
currently
a project,
working. You're working with
yep,
Prestige currently.
yep,
You are,
yep.
and what's your function for Prestige currently?
Well, I'm a project manager. I say I'm a project manager. I'm more on the sales and estimating side.
Okay.
So I'm dealing with contractors. I'm bidding work. I'm managing work. Um, so that's been wild
Yeah.
to see kind of that side of it. Um, but I've been out of the field now 7 years, 8 years, coming up on 8 years.
Okay.
So um, I do a little side work just, to kind of for fun, I miss it at times.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
odd. You get into the grind and then you go, man, I can't do this drywall stuff forever. This is gonna kill me. And then, you do, well, not a lot of people do something else, but I decided to do something else. And then, say 7 years later, um, I miss it. I miss the tools. I miss
Yeah.
the goofing off on job sites. You
Yeah.
know,
I do
I
too.
miss that whole thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
know
kind
what
of
you
what,
mean.
um, yeah, yeah. So I love what I do. I love the company I work for. Great people, very loyal, been great to me. Um, and who knows? Well, if this tool thing kicks off and great, if not, I don't really have plans one way or the other at this
Okay.
point. But
Do they
I
know,
was starting to,
does Prestige know that you're doing this little side hustle?
yeah,
Okay.
yep, yep. Owner's very supportive. Um,
Cool. That's cool.
yeah, yeah, yep. So I guess the reason I started it um, is that I'm never really satisfied. I need I maybe get a little bored. I need to keep moving forward, keep moving on, keep moving up, kind of thing. So I was getting a little stagnant in my day job, and I needed to reignite some passion in my life and kind of
Okay.
do something on my own. Yeah,
Good
yeah.
for you.
That's
Yeah.
kind of the reason. And then I love the tools. I love everything about them. I love fixing them. I like using them. Not 40 hours a week. That hurt. But
Are you good? Are you good
you know,
at, would you say that you're good at fixing them?
the tube is um the basics I can fix on the tube, and I can fix anything out of a box or an angle head or uh, any of the they're not very complicated tools. Once
No.
you replace things, and so yeah, I can fix most things.
They're kind of
Yeah,
fun to work on, I would imagine, like a bike, like a bicycle. They're kind of
yeah,
simple, it's kind of simple, kind of fun to work. You could lube them up and you could dial them
yeah,
in.
yeah,
They're pretty
yeah,
cool. Yeah. And they're
yeah, yeah.
unique.
So I've
They're
lots of
unique and they're cool tools. So you were like,
yes,
I'm going to, how does one start to sell tools? I mean, you, you, your business, is it a separate business? Do you have a bank account and all of that stuff?
yes, yes. So I
Okay.
formed an LLC, and this
Okay.
I'm kind of a doer, not a planner. Um, so initially my thought was, let's build an online tool business. And the reason I picked tools is because it's what I know.
Okay.
Really, you can build any online business. And then as I talked to more people, as I got more involved in it, it's it's not realistic to just build an online drywall tool business. It has to be more than that. There's all there's Al's, there's already these big guys that do this online. There's no
I
room
think
for just some
Ames
guy to pop up.
is Ames the
Yep,
biggest in that space.
yeah,
They're selling a
yeah,
bunch.
yeah, yep.
It's a
Oh well,
challenge.
you just take that.
It's a challenging space to jump into for somebody
Hmm.
like you. Like not a lot of people would do that.
Yeah,
That seems interesting.
yeah.
Now, are the larger companies like Columbia, Level 5, Ames, are they also selling? How does that work? Do they have to go through a distributor or are they
Everybody's
selling
different.
Everybody's different. Some of them kind of sell online a little bit. Some of them support the distributor by going just through a distributor like that.
Yep. Yep. So we've got four manufacturers now. Um, Level 5 is kind of where I got my start. Was with
Okay.
Level 5. They kind of open arms. Yeah, let's do it. Can-Am, same deal. Open arms. Let's do it.
So
Merco,
when they say let's do it, they're ready to give you a bunch of tools to sell. Or
yes.
do you buy the tools at a wholesale price and redistribute them? Special thanks to Jake Gordon for being on the Drywall Podcast today. I wish you the best of luck in your endeavors, and keep us posted. This month's podcasts are brought to you by Platformer Solutions. You can listen to me talk with Shane Larson about the Platformer on episode 16 of the Drywall Podcast. Don't sacrifice your life with knockoffs or 2x4s out of the dumpster. Go with the name that started it all, the Platformer. Ask your local distributor or order online at www.platformersolutions.com. In fact, if you order in the month of February and use promo code PODCAST, you can get $100 off your order. The Drywall Podcast was also brought to you today by Fresco Harmony. Fresco Harmony, making walls better since 2004. If you'd like information about the podcast, Fresco Harmony, or anything, you can message me on Instagram or Facebook, or email me directly at info@frescoharmony.com. Thank you for listening to the Drywall Podcast today. I really appreciate it. Join us next week when we're going to have Jake Creeley from the Spy Sponge with us on the Drywall Podcast. Until then, keep drywalling.